Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be focusing on user accounts in Microsoft Entra ID. We'll break down everything you need to know about user accounts in your Microsoft Entra organization. We'll cover everything you need to know about the creation of a user account, the user account type, and setting up permissions and more. Let's get started. In Microsoft Entra ID, all user accounts are granted a set of default permissions. A user's account access consists of the type of user, their role assignment, and their ownership of individual objects. There are different types of user accounts in Microsoft Entra ID. Each type has a level of access specific to the scope of work expected to be done under each type of user accounts. Administrators have the highest level of access, followed by the member user accounts in the Microsoft Entra organization. Guest users have the most restricted level of access. Permissions. When we talk about permissions in Azure, what are they? Imagine your organization as a high security building. Permissions are like the individual keys that grant access to specific areas in the building. In Entra ID, permissions define the exact actions a user can take. For example, a reset password permissions allow users to, reset password for others. By granularly assigning permissions, we ensure users have what they need to do their jobs. This is a principle we call least privilege. Another thing we need to look at when we are talking about users in Entra ID is roles. What are they? Think of roles as a keychain that hold multiple keys. This predefined group of permissions streamline access management. Note that assigning a role to a user grants them the complete set of permissions it contains. Entra ID offers two types of roles. We have the built-in role and the custom roles. Built-in roles can be pre-configured with Entra ID, and this gives you a convenient starting point. Common examples include user administrator, group administrator, and application administrator. When we talk about the custom roles, let's say you need a role specifically tailored for your marketing team. With custom roles, you can create a role with the exact permissions your marketing team needs. This is perfect for granting granular access to specific resources or for crafting roles for specialized job functions. Now that we understand what roles and permissions are, we need to also understand the type of users that can be created in our Entra organization. The first type of user we will look at is a member user. This type of user is a native member of Microsoft Entra organization that has a set of default permissions like being able to manage their own profile information. When someone new joins your organization, they typically have this type of account created for them. Anyone who isn't a guest user or isn't assigned administrator role fall into this type of user. A member user role is meant for users who are considered internal to an organization and are members of the Microsoft Entra organization. This type of users are not able to manage other users. For example, creating and deleting other users. Member users don't have the same restrictions that are typically placed on guest users. Another type of user that can be created in our Entra organization is a guest user. Say your organization wants to collaborate with external partners and don't want them to have the same type of permissions that internal members have. This is where a guest user comes into play. You can either send an invitation email that contains a redemption link or send them a direct link to an app you want to share. Guest users can sign in with their own work, school, or social identities. Now let's head into our Azure accounts and see how to create this type of users. In my Azure portal, I'm going to show you how to create this type of users. If you are not seeing users here as I'm seeing, you simply search at the top here. So by searching users, I see it here, so I choose users. It will bring me to my users blade. So here I will see all my users in my Entra organization will be displayed here. You can see I already have 2 users here. I have the type of user, we have a member and a guest. And then you'll be able to see your deleted users, your password reset, user settings, and so on. Our focus is creating a new user. So to simply create a user, click on the new user at the top here. Here you'll be asked to choose whether you are creating a new user or you are inviting somebody externally. So in our case, we are creating a new user first. So to create a new user, you click on create new user. It will bring you to this particular blade where you'll be asked to answer a few questions, fill a few forms. The first thing you need is your user principal name. The principal name is basically a name plus the domain. So in our case, we don't have our organization domain added into our account. So we have the default Azure domain that comes with our registration. So I'm going to choose a principal name here. So I'm going to choose my first principal name will be Paul 100. And then I want to leave the mail nickname as Paul 100. Or if you feel that you want to change that, you can easily check here, uncheck here and change it. So let me just leave it to Paul. Then the display name. So when you go back to the dashboard, this is what the name that will show. So I'll leave my display name as Paul. Then the password. You can auto-generate a password, or you can, if you don't want to auto-generate it, you can uncheck this and then you choose a password for that account. So do you want to enable the account automatically when it's created, or you want the account to be enabled later? So in my case, I want it to be enabled automatically. So I will check this one. The next thing is I'll click on properties. So in the properties blade, I'll be asked to choose to enter the person's username, the first name of the user. So the first name is Paul. Then the last name is Kojo. Then you'll be asked to choose the type of user, whether it's a guest or a member here again. So I'm leaving it as a member. Now, because we'll be creating groups later, so let's create, I'm going to enter the job title and department. So I'm going to give Kojo's job title as a developer. And then his department, I will say Kojo is in the IT department. You can fill all this, the company name, the employee ID, and so on. The day your company hired Kojo, and so on. It's up to you to choose all that. You can add his contact details as well, his business, his phone numbers, and so on. But we are not going to do that. Another thing you can do is choose usage location. Where do you want Kojo to be able to access resources relating to your organization? So when you choose this, you can easily use security groups to limit Kojo from having access to your organization and so on. So in my case, I'm going to leave it to United States, and then I'll click on assignment. Here you can add Kojo to a group, which we don't have a group yet. So you can see we don't have a group yet. Then a role. So here, this is where you can actually choose a role for Kojo. So what type of role does Kojo play in the organization? So I believe we now understand what roles and permissions are. So say I want Kojo to be a developer. So I look for application developer. So application developer, and I add Kojo as an application developer. Then I click on next. You can add multiple roles for Kojo, but in my case, I want him to be application developer. Then I click on next. Now you review all this, and then you click on, if you are okay with all that has been filled, you click on create. now they say at the top, we can see that they are saying Azure is telling us that our user has been created. Paul has been created successfully. So let me just refresh here and see. So good. You can see that Paul is created and the display name we chose was Paul. So if I had added Paul Kojo to it, his surname to it, it would have displayed. But in our case, we chose the display name as Paul. So let's click on Paul and go into it. Say you've created a user, you enter something wrong and you want to edit. You can easily come here and click on edit properties. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change his display name to Kojo. Add Kojo to it, Kojo. And that's it. I can change his user principal name as well, his membership type, and so on. And then his job information, you can edit all that here. His contact information, you can edit all that here. His parental control, you can edit, and so on. So I'll just save that. His monitoring, his logins and stuff like that, user logins. If Kojo logs into his account, all those things will be displayed here. His properties. So if you easily want to view all the information relating to Kojo, you can see all properties here as well. You want to reset Kojo's password, you can easily do it here. Just easily click on Kojo, reset password. And password reset has been, Kojo's password has been reset. So you can see his temporary password has been reset here. So as easy as that. So you can also see his audit logs. Say you want to audit Kojo's behavior in the account, you can see all that here. You can see his logins. He hasn't logged in yet, so I don't think we'll see anything. Let's wait a bit. That is loading. Good. So you will see Kojo hasn't logged into his account yet, so we don't see anything relating to Kojo. Say we want to assign roles to Kojo. His assigned roles, we remember we gave him a developer, so his assigned roles are here. So we want to add more roles to Kojo. You easily choose the user and then you assign another role to him. So let's just say, let me enter developer here and see. We should see other roles relating to developer, cloud device administrator, and so on. Okay, just for demonstration's sake, say we just want Kojo to be a DevOps. So you click on DevOps and add. As easy as that. That should be added. So you can see that another role has been assigned to Kojo here. You can also assign license to Kojo. You can assign a license to Kojo here. To easily assign a license to Kojo, you come to licenses and then you click on Microsoft Entra license. You can choose the type of license you want to give to Kojo. Whether you want to give him the multi-factor authentication, you want to give him a P1, you want to give him a P2, or you want to give him a Defender. Any type of license you want to give to Kojo, you can choose it here, or you can basically choose the P2, which gives you even more functionalities. So say I want to give Kojo this license here, I just click on it and it has been assigned. As easy as that. Kojo now has licenses. So let's go back to Kojo, click on Kojo, click on license. So you can now see, so the services that are enabled in the license, you realize that we have 4. So say I want to off some of the licenses. So let me off this one and save. So his license has been updated. So this license should be reduced to 3. So yes, so we can see that it's been reduced to 3. So Kojo's devices, if he's having a device, it will also be showed here. Azure role assignment. We haven't assigned any role to him, so we won't see any role here as well. So that is that. So that is how to easily create a user, an internal user in your organization. The next type of user that we are going to create is a guest user. So with a guest user, we will need an email. We need to send the person an invite. So we click on new user and click on invite external user. And then we enter the person's email, robert@robertng.com. So the display name, I will leave it as Robert Kwame. Then I'll send the invitation message. So if I want my invitation should go with a message, you just click here, and then I will just let me leave him a message. Say, welcome to Robert Limited. So if I have somebody I want to copy in the mail, you can easily add a person's email here as well. But I'm going to leave that as that. So this is the direct link that the person will be using to accept the invitation into your organization. So I click on next properties. So the same procedure, I'll fill the names. So I'm going to fill the name Robert. Then his last name was Kwame that I gave. Then he's a guest user. So what is Robert's role in the organization? Say he's a consultant. So which department? That is his job title. So he's a consultant. So on what? What is he consulting on? So I'm going to leave, he's going to consult on cybersecurity staff. So which department? So I'll say cybersecurity. And then you can go ahead and fill the rest of the forms if you want to, or you have all those details about Kwame or Robert. You go ahead and you fill that. His location, I'm going back to choose US again, and then I'll click on send invite. So invitation has been successfully sent to Robert Kwame. So you can see is here, Robert Kwame is a guest created. Now let's check and see. Let's check and see if Kwame has gotten his email. So you can see here that Kwame's invitation is in his email, and the name of the organization, which is Robert ENG, the domain, and the message. So you can see the message telling him, welcome to Robert Limited. So he can easily accept his invitation. And that is that. So let's go back to our dashboard. And that is how to add a user, a guest user. So the same way, if you still want to edit a couple of things relating to the guest user, you can go to the same thing, come to edit properties. You can edit a lot of things here. The type of user, the person's job information, his contact information, parental control, and so on. So let's go back to the Robert Kwame's details. The same thing, they have the same thing. So his assigned role, we haven't assigned a role to him, so we can easily assign a role to him here. Let me see whether we have any built-in cybersecurity role. Let me see security. So cloud app security administrator, say I want to give him this role. That is fine. If I want to build a custom role for him because it's an external user or a guest user in my organization, you can do that as well. So I do this, I assign him this role. So because it's a consultant, So administrative unit, I don't have any administrative unit yet. So you can see that I can't assign that yet. The groups that Kwame is in and so on. So you can see all that, those things relating to Kwame. And that is how to create both a new user in your organization, or how to create an external user, in other words, a guest user in your organization. Say you want to delete a user in your organization. How do you go about it? Now, to delete a user is pretty straightforward. Say I decide that I want to delete this user, which is Robert, because I have a lot of Roberts here and I want to delete one. So I'll just check on Robert, and then first you click on Robert, and then as simple as that, at the top, I delete Robert. So everything that has to do with Robert will also go. His associated group, he's not in any group and so on. So I just click on Robert and he's deleted. So we'll keep refreshing so you can see that he's been deleted successfully. So, and that is that. So Robert is successfully deleted. Another thing you need to, and I want you to be aware when it comes to deleting users in your account, is that when you delete a user, the account remains in a suspended state for 30 days. During that 30 days window, the user account can be restored. So say I just deleted him and I realized it was a mistake, and it's more than 30 days, it means that it's gone forever. But as long as it's less than 30 days that I deleted him, if I go to deleted users here, I should be able to see him there, and then I can easily restore him. So you can see that I have some deleted users here. Say I want to restore Roberts. Just to get things clear, let's restore this user, AZ104 user 1. So I just click on him and then restore users. Restore user selected, then you click on yes. So user has been restored. So let me go back to all users, and voila, he's here. So you've easily restored a deleted user. So that is it for creating users in your Microsoft Entra organization. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below and I'll be happy to help. See you in the next one. Bye.